Hi, Danette May here, and welcome back to the Danette May Show. I'm so excited to have you. And I have to ask you, do you ever struggle with self-doubt? Wondering if your dreams are really going to come into fruition? I know I did for so many years, and our next guest is going to blow your mind, explode your hearts, and really help you dive into the possibility that you are in control of your destiny, that there is hope that your dreams will unravel. No matter what your past is, no matter where you came from, no matter what you did or didn't do, today on is for the making, not what you did yesterday or a year ago or 2 years ago. My next guest, I'm so excited to share with you. You are going to absolutely love his story. You're going to become inspired by him just as I am, and I cannot wait to introduce my good friend, Sammy T. I am so excited to interview Sammy. Like, this is gonna be a really vulnerable, but also really empowering conversation, I sense. And so we're gonna get right into this.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited. So
Thank you.
Can you, because I've only heard pieces of your story, and I sense there's multiple people watching that are really gonna glean inspiration and feel a sense of, man, I can do this too. I can rise up within myself. And so I want to know a little bit backstory about you so we can get to know you from your words right now.
Sure. I think the best place to start for me is who I was before I became a DJ for some of the biggest players in the space. Before I was a DJ, I actually worked in the bathroom at a nightclub, and I would give mints and napkins and like keep people, you know, looking fly at the club. And I was watching these DJs and I was like, oh my God, I gotta do this. This is not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
I cannot be working in the bathroom. I have too much that I want to do, and like watching them, I was like, this is ridiculous. So I started saving tips and I was buying their drinks so they would teach me how to DJ.
Wow, I
And
didn't
so,
know this.
yeah, it was so funny, and it was this little nightclub in Denver. So I would buy them drinks, and lo and behold, one night, you know, I get the opportunity because one of the DJs can't play. He gets a little too intoxicated, and I was like, yes, this is my break.
Yeah.
So I basically log rolled him off the stage, and I was like, I'm in. And that was the night somebody saw me play, and they kind of opened the door for me, and lo and behold, I worked my way into being a DJ from that experience. So some of the kids and the people that I talked to, they're always like, how did you become a DJ? And I was like, I just saw an opportunity, and I figured out my step on how to get in there.
That's really, really powerful. So
Yeah.
found an opportunity, stepped into it. And I know you're on a new trajectory, but let's go back to your original story where you got
Right.
this name.
And the crazy thing about my story is I had a really humble beginning. I'm adopted from the Philippines, and I was so called to go back to my orphanage for whatever reason. So I went back to my orphanage and found where I was from. And in that process, we found out that I was found in a shoebox on the first day of my life. And once I had that realization, one, my fans, they started calling me Shoebox. And they're like, yeah, you're always preaching at us like Moses. So Shoebox Moses was the name that kind of was given to me from fans and friends and family. And it's taken this really beautiful turn for me. Like, it's a fun name, it's a beautiful story. It keeps me grounded on my mission. And my mission is really to inspire and educate the kids around the world. And specifically right now, we're working with my orphanage in the Philippines, which I love. And what's crazy though is kids now talk to me about like things they're going through, that they're processing. Little kids, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, and 20s. They'll share these things. And I'll be fully honest with you, I had a blessed childhood. It didn't start great, but my parents are angels. And the interesting thing about kids sharing with me all the stuff that they might be processing and having a really hard time really getting through in life is because of this Shoebox Moses name and identity. And I would not probably be able to crack that with them if I didn't, if it was just, hey, it's Sammy. Maybe I would, but this gives them. It
wouldn't be the same though.
It wouldn't be the same. Yeah.
Can I ask, when you found out about your original story, was there a moment when it really hit you about this story?
One of the lowest things that ever happened to me through all of this, because it sounds like, oh my gosh, you made it, you did so great, you got your calling, your mission, you got your name, now you know what you're doing. I had the hardest time processing all this. I started having imposter syndrome like crazy. I didn't feel like I deserved the success. I was living in this beautiful house. I started doing the most crazy ways to self-destruct, and the name and myself had this massive gap. And I had this night after I'd found out all the things that were working for me. I had just gotten back from visiting my orphanage. I had shows back to back to back, and I partied all night. And I drove home, and I hit a car. I don't even remember hitting the car, and I don't even know how I didn't get arrested. I woke up in my own hell the next day. Car was just ripped to shreds on the side, and I was in my own bed, and I remember just having that moment where I'm like, who are you? Why are you having such a problem digesting the brilliance of your life? And that is when the name really started to, that's when it started to settle in. I was like, who is a Shoebox Moses? This is ridiculous. If you want to embrace a story that has that much power for people, what are you doing? And that's when it started to really sink in.
Ooh, thank you for sharing that, because I think when we find out even just like these raw moments, but yet we also know the gravity of our life, we do go through this like almost dark night of the soul.
Oh, it was so dark.
It's important for people to realize it's not like you just go, oh, I can totally see what I'm meant to do. You go and you grapple a little bit with the truth of your life.
Yeah, it was such a hard thing, and I've heard stories from like Will Smith and those guys going through the same thing, right? He released an album, he was doing great, and then he didn't understand how to keep his money. He's riding the bus to his shows and like, you know, doing stuff. That's what I was doing. People, I had the police calling me because they were ready to arrest me because they had me on camera as a hit and run, and they said, we know where you're playing because it's all over. If you don't at least call, you know, that whole process. And I just remember thinking how upset I would make everybody, mainly my family, and I was so just rocked with that. And that was a great turning point for me.
I love that. Yeah. I'm gonna go even one step deeper, because I think, once again, as humans, we think we hit one moment, rock bottom, got through it, moving on. But I believe as humans, we hit them, and there's moments, even like maybe yesterday for somebody, that you're like, what am I doing? Do you feel like you bump into that on this journey as you keep evolving into the more fuller expression of who you are?
Constantly.
Yes.
Constantly.
And what are some of your vices, if you don't mind sharing, just so people can feel that they're not alone in their vice?
There's a couple that I think that are not like substance vices, but they're vices of feeling acceptance and love. Did I make you happy? Did I do good enough? Why am I actually given this opportunity? I'm not good enough to be here. A lot of doubt. And then
like inner critic. Just go on rage.
Yeah, on rage. Just like, oh my gosh. So much inner critic. I do that a lot. I've been doing a lot of work on that, but that's one of my biggest vices.
I want to know that now. Like, so when you're in this moment, what are things that actually work for you when you get into a moment? Say like you get done DJing. Do you ever get this where you're like on that high and then you're like, do I even really matter? Like, really?
Yeah, and again, constantly.
Okay, good.
Constantly.
Good.
Like for anybody that is probably in a zone where you get to perform and impact people, it always comes like a day or two later when I'm just back to same old person. and having the same old challenges and problems. But what I've learned to do, one of the things that has really helped me, and it's so funny, you're gonna think this is random, and like not random, but just weird, is that it's music. And a lot of times I didn't realize I would turn off music. I would have these problems, I would just be like, ugh, and I would stop, and there's no music. My world would be silent. I'd just write in a journal, but there's no music. And what I started to realize was that I need to find the music that I wasn't always playing and find new music and share it. And so that's one of the things I do is I'll share music. Like people are constantly getting music and playlists from me. Like, hey, I actually have one for you. I've like been compiling. And that's been one of my big therapeutic ways to get through it. Because what happened with me, and this is ridiculous, I'll play this set of my life and people will just be like, oh, you didn't play that song. And I've played for like 3.5 hours or 4 hours. And that's the only thing I'll remember from the whole night. And that's not the best way to go through things. So to fix that for myself, I was like, I'm just gonna give you some more music. And so I share as much as I can. And probably second to that is meditation. Meditation with the music that really moves me.
That moves you.
Yeah.
So you have a meditation
I have a meditation playlist.
Oh, that'd be powerful.
And it's a beautiful one because it's been put together by some of my favorite people on the planet, my friends. And we did a big, beautiful, like you're in Colorado, they did a thing at Yoga on the Rocks, and I'll share this playlist with your audience. Like it's.
Oh, that would be incredible. Could
absolutely,
we share in the
of
notes
course,
below?
of course.
Okay.
I'll put it on there.
That would be
and
awesome.
this is what's beautiful from you being in Colorado. This is going to come straight from Red Rocks. It was yoga on the rocks, and my boy Manos, who is the most incredible music sage. He can find music anywhere from any place, but he'll just find these ways to put this music together, and he made this mix that I use to do a 4 and 6 phase meditation. One by Vishen, the 6 phase meditation, and then a 4 phase meditation that I use from my best friend Jesse Elder. And so,
I do know Jesse Elder. I need to check out
his 4 phase meditation has been one of the saving graces to how I learned to meditate.
We're going to link that below you
absolutely,
as well,
yeah.
like that 4 phase, and we'll link the 6 phase and your playlist. How incredible.
Oh, it's insane. It's the best thing I've learned to cope with it. And sharing that thing has been, that playlist, Manos's Yoga on the Rocks, has been so therapeutic. And I didn't know that I was shutting off music. And I think one of the things that happened is I would get in trouble when I was younger sometimes. And, you know, as kids, they're like, stop, be quiet, this and that. You know, like I was a maniac as a kid. I don't blame them for telling me to shut up, to be quiet. Like they never told me to shut up, but they definitely were like, please
calm down.
Calm down. And so probably anchored deep in there was like, oh, I'm mad at myself. Shut down, be quiet. And that's absolutely the 180-degree wrong way to go. So yeah, I found this beautiful way to share music, and it's so easy for me because that's what I do. And it's like, you're familiar with like the levels that Tony Robbins talks about of experiences, a class 1 experience, 2 and 3, right?
Yes.
Like the best class experience you can have is one that is good for you.
Yes.
It's good for the greater cause and everyone. It's healthy.
Yep.
And I was like, what is a class 1 experience for me to get through this? So I'd always ask myself these really powerful questions.
That's a powerful question. What is the class 1
experience
for me
that I can do?
That's powerful.
Yeah, that I can do that makes everything else easier or unnecessary.
Not what's class 1 for Danette or class 1 for your sister or your brother, but for you.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
So I was like, you are the music person. And there was probably a gap of 3 years where people would be like, what are you gonna play today? What are you gonna do? And I would like, oh my God, stop asking me that. And I started to just get into it. I was like, I am so excited to go find out. I can't wait. What do you guys want to hear? And I started asking, and people started telling me, and that was another thing that I realized is like when people tell you what they want to hear, it's not anything personal about me being a bad DJ.
Right.
It's like, dude, I just love this music. I want to share it with you. And one of the things that I didn't realize until just even recently, the last 2 or 3 years, is that one of the gifts that we give people, that especially me, someone's always putting out music, one of the biggest gifts I can give my audience is for them to give to me. because they love that. That's the gift that I didn't realize I wasn't allowing them to give to me.
Wow. So be thinking about like what is the way that you like to give to people, and can you do that back to yourself? Well, I want to ask 1 to 2 more questions.
You can ask me whatever you like.
I want to ask, what do you feel is starting to rise up within you? It's not the question of what is next, but what do you feel is another part of your mission?
A lot more of a leadership role that I didn't realize that I was capable of doing, or being a leader. Because as a young entrepreneur and just somebody that's fumbled and effed up so many things in my life, I didn't realize that all of those things have served me so well. And I've accelerated so much of my growth through so much of the uncomfortable things that I've done, that ultimately it's made me an incredibly compassionate connector and leader in a lot of the spaces that I'm at. And am I there? No, not even close. But am I really on that hockey stick learning curve and accelerated exposure to it? I mean, look at where we're at now.
Right.
I am talking to you. That's a beautiful...
You actually, I think, are already in it.
Yeah.
Even though you might say, I'm not there yet, I think you actually are, because of your ability to see so much within people. Whether they want to be seen or not, you can see it, which is such a beautiful gift I believe you actually have. So
Thank you.
I'm excited for you to just start expressing it more. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
No, that's one of the things I see. I also feel the ability to manifest things so much faster now.
Yeah.
And I think manifestation for me isn't like, oh my gosh, I go crazy when people are like, look what I manifested. I'm like, oh, spare me. I cannot do this. You did not manifest that. You put the intention out there, but I believe in a much higher power that gives you the ability to stay safe and true towards a message and a calling. So when you go, I manifested this, I believe it comes with a lot of faith and a lot of hard work, but being so loud and so clear about why you're doing the things you're doing, that things do move for you.
I love that.
Yeah, that's what I see with manifesting what's in my life right now.
Right. I kind of feel like you just kind of answered something so powerful to people, because I was going to say, if you could say one thing to 1 million people, what would that thing be?
The one thing to 1 million people would be just to stay rooted in love.
Rooted in love. Wow. What an honor to be with you. Thank you for sharing all this wisdom of what you do, reminding us to honor like that first class seat for ourselves, and like really like the things that you're seeing in others, the potential. Also, you don't have to put on the mask because most people can see it anyway. Stay consistent. I'm so grateful for your message. Thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you.
You guys, thank you for tuning in. If you love this show, make sure you share it out, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much.
I woke up to that and I was terrified. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. Obviously at 8 years old, I wasn't sure. You don't question an adult.
A lot of us are walking around with stories, past experiences, and a lot of us are not even realizing how it's affecting our decisions on the day-to-day.
It's obviously 100 times better now, but it still affected me, and I didn't realize how much it had affected me.
We're gonna get really raw and real about someone's past trauma and how she's overcome it so that she can step into the fullest expression of who she is.